All right, Steelers fans, we got a massive trade this morning. We are just getting the details of a blockbuster trade that gets the Pittsburgh Steelers not only a superstar defensive player, but also one of Arthur Smith's all-time favorite offensive weapons to add to Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers offense. The Steelers are trading All-Pro safety Minkah Fitzpatrick to the Miami Dolphins, where he started his NFL career, in exchange for star corner Jalen Ramsey, the three-time All-Pro corner, and tight end Jonnu Smith in a move that is just absolutely nuts and is completely unfolding right now as I am speaking. If we get more details as I'm recording this video, we'll be bringing them to you. And we're also going to be going live on Steelers Talk to break down the many implications of this move for the Pittsburgh Steelers heading into the 2025 season. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button. And after you're watching this breaking news video, go on over to our breaking news live show where I'm going to be zooming in. I'm actually on vacation right now here at home in Minnesota. But when breaking news happens, we are getting you guys videos and we are getting you guys content so you guys know what's going on with the black and gold. So if you want that in-depth Steelers content wherever I'm at on planet Earth, make sure you guys click that subscribe button right now. So let's get into the trade right now because there is a lot to cover when it comes to this deal. Okay, we got the news first that Jalen Ramsey, the three-time All-Pro corner, was going to be traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ramsey announced it on his social media earlier this morning with a video kind of breaking down that he's going to be going to the Steelers. We didn't know any trade compensation at the time, and then a few minutes later, we found out that Minkah Fitzpatrick, the All-Pro safety, was being traded in return for Ramsey, and then we got more details saying that Jonnu Smith was also a part of the deal, and that the Steelers and Dolphins are expected to swap late round picks in next year's NFL draft. We don't know the extent of those picks at the time of me recording this video, but obviously major implications here. Jalen Ramsey is a fantastic player. Now, without Minkah in the room, it's going to be interesting to see how this secondary plays out. People have been saying that Jalen Ramsey could make a move to safety for a couple of years now, and with Minkah out of the building, the Steelers do have Deshaun Elliott and they do have Juan Thornhill. But there's certainly going to be a discussion here as to whether or not Jalen Ramsey is going to be playing safety for the Pittsburgh Steelers moving forward because of that. Another thing to keep in mind here is that, Justin Simmons is still a free agent safety out there that plays free safety. So that could be an option for the Pittsburgh Steelers if they still want to play Jalen Ramsey at the cornerback position. Before we found out that Minkah was a part of the deal, my first inclination was, okay, Jalen's going to be playing in the slot when you're in your nickel packages, so that's three corners. Joey and Darius would be playing on the outside with Ramsey playing in the nickel. He played a lot there in Miami and in Los Angeles, and he's really good playing in the slot. So that's where my mind went. But then now that Minkah's not going to be in there, it's going to be interesting to see what the Steelers' plan is for the secondary. Do they still plan on playing Ramsey in the slot and in that nickel role that plays on the outside when they're in their base two-corner alignments, or do they put him at safety and completely change the trajectory of where he's going? Now, another thing to keep in mind here when it comes to the Minkah Fitzpatrick contract or situation is the contract. The Steelers were slated to have a $22.3 million cap hit this year and a $24.4 million cap hit for him next year. So you're getting most of that off the books. $15.5 million of that is in base salary that goes now to the Miami Dolphins, and then $17.6 in next year's goes to the Miami Dolphins as well. So you get that really large contract for Minkah Fitzpatrick off the books. But you do add a little bit here in Jonnu Smith, who is getting a one-year extension worth $12 million as well. I'm throwing a lot of information at you guys here, obviously, because there's a lot to go over with this. But when you look at the compensation for the Steelers, you're getting rid of Minkah Fitzpatrick, who's a fantastic player, super intelligent, leader in the locker room. Hate to lose a guy like that, but he hasn't necessarily played elite caliber football maybe in a couple of years now, especially last year where he only had one interception. Now, I do think he's still a good player. I think a lot of that lack of quote unquote production from Minkah last year was because teams were pretty much just avoiding him. They weren't comfortable throwing to his area of the field, which shows, the respect that they have for his game. And it's one of the reasons why the Miami Dolphins wanted him in return in this deal. But the fact that you're getting two players here, Jalen Ramsey, who is an awesome player in his own right, kind of offsetting that kind of talent differential by letting go of Minkah. But then you also get a guy in Jonnu Smith here, which is kind of the interesting part of this trade, because we had heard a little bit that Jalen Ramsey could be going to the Steelers, but we had no idea that it was going to be multiple players in this deal. And Jonnu Smith is somebody that we did hear the Steelers were in talks to potentially acquire as well, but those rumors kind of got shut down. It probably wasn't going to happen, but now he is officially a Pittsburgh Steeler, and what it means is you're paying two tight ends, both Jonnu Smith and Pat Freiermuth, a large amount of money, which means that I think the Steelers are pretty much going to be basing out of 12 personnel, which is two tight ends. So you got Pat Freiermuth and Jonnu Smith pretty much on the field at all times, which certainly, limits the need for another wide receiver in the Steelers wide receiver room, at least in my opinion, because you got DK Metcalf. Obviously, he's your every down number one wide receiver, but then you got Calvin Austin III and Roman Wilson. And, if you're going to be living in 12 personnel, like the Steelers pretty much have to be at this point because of how much money they're paying to both Jonnu and Pat Freiermuth, you're not going to be in 11 personnel, 3 receiver sets all that often. The Steelers are really seeming to be going all in here on playing big ball, having heavy personnel out there, being bigger and stronger and more physical than their opponents, especially with the modern NFL defense being all about speed, being all about two high safeties, being all about nickel. Having and living in two tight end sets here is going to allow the Steelers' run game to really have an advantage in terms of the blocking up front. So this new kind of look Steelers offense is definitely Arthur Smith. He loves the bigger personnel. He loves the run game. And this move to get Jonnu Smith certainly, accentuates that. Now, Jonnu, when it comes to his skill set, I did say that if the Steelers were going to, add another tight end and pay him money, I wanted it to be Jonnu because he's a different skill set than Pat Freiermuth. Pat is more of a possession type, good savvy route runner, especially against zone coverage, really reliable hands, just a really reliable piece. Jonnu Smith is a little bit more dynamic. He's somebody that you're going to use in your screen game. He's somebody that's going to be an incredible yak threat and really give you some versatility from your offensive weaponry, where not only do you get Jonnu's size, but you get his athleticism. So this is definitely going to make the Steelers offense one of the more unique in the National Football League, because everybody lives in 3 wide receiver sets, right? Everybody plays kind of smaller. That's the modern NFL game, is it's all about passing, it's all about speed. With the Steelers, it's going to be all about the run game, it's going to be all about versatility, it's going to be all about making everything look the same to the defense so they don't know what's coming. And I'm very excited to see what this offense is going to look like this year. And then on the defensive side of the ball, you take out Minkah, we'll see what they do. Maybe potentially adding a Justin Simmons at free safety. I think that would be an excellent move at this point to pair with Deshaun Elliott and Juan Thornhill. By the way, Thornhill had a great offseason program. The Steelers really like him. They might just put him at free safety. That might just be their plan. And then they have Jalen Ramsey as kind of their nickel back. And that's kind of what their plan is moving forward. We don't have confirmation on that at this point. I'm just speculating here. But it's going to be very interesting to see what happens here heading into the season on the defensive side of the ball if they add another player to this secondary. I'm very excited about it, guys. We're going to talk about this more as more details come in on the live show, guys. So that's going to be it for the breaking news video here. But just so you guys know, the trade details as we know it right now, Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith are both Pittsburgh Steelers, and Minkah Fitzpatrick is being sent to the Miami Dolphins. And then there's a late round pick swap between the Steelers and the Dolphins. When we get more details on this, we'll let you guys know. We're going to have extensive Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith coverage on this channel for probably the next week, even though I am here on vacation. But we're dedicated to the cause here, man. We're going to be getting you guys content every single day this week, breaking down this trade. Really do appreciate all of your guys' support. I will see you over on Steelers Talk Live. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Until next time, guys, here we go, Steelers.